Trip abroad, Russian President Vladimir Putin will travel to Iran tomorrow. It's already morning in Moscow. This will be Putin's second trip outside of Russia since he invaded Ukraine in February. Putin's stated purpose for the visit is to hold Syria-related talks with Iran's supreme leader and Turkey's president. And coincidentally or not, Putin's visit comes as Iran has agreed to supply Russia with hundreds of drones capable of carrying precision-guided missiles. That's according to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, as if the Russian-Iran weapons partnership wasn't problematic enough for us. There's this. Iran now claims it has the technical ability to make a nuclear bomb. That headline, courtesy of a top advisor to Iran's supreme leader, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Ben Hodges, with us now. Boy, General, I remember a couple months ago we were all celebrating that Russia's on the ropes. Now seems like they and Iran are doing pretty well together.
Well, that's not true at all, Leland. 2 months ago, when you and I were talking, the Russians were retreating from north of Kyiv. They had culminated, and they had to completely rebuild their plan for what they're trying to do. And I would say that today they are weeks away from, I think, culminating once again. Their logistics system is about to collapse. They can do nothing but fire artillery, old conventional artillery, at towns and villages. Now, obviously, that's terrible if you're on the receiving end of it. But I think what we're seeing finally is Ukraine having the ability to destroy and disrupt what Russia is able to do. It's very interesting to me that Russia has to import drones from Iran. I mean, what does that say about how weak Russia is today, that they cannot even produce drones? And by the way, they cannot replace the precision munitions they've been using because of sanctions that prevent them from getting the necessary components.
What does it say about Iran, though, that they still can, despite all the sanctions and all the tough talk from President Biden, that they can produce all these drones, and that they're saying we're just a couple of weeks away from nuclear weapons, something the Russians have a lot of know-how about?
Well, okay, I'm not sure where you're going. I mean, the Russians have thousands of nuclear weapons, and I mean, we've had sanctions against Iran well before the Biden administration, of course, but I don't know that the sanctions that we have in place against Iran necessarily prevent them from being able to manufacture drones. So, look, it's not good, but there's nobody else is offering anything to Russia, only Iran. And frankly, I'll be quite surprised if those drones ever see the light of day inside Russia or Ukraine. Certainly they shouldn't.
Yeah, well, you have to know whether the Iranians do that. You make a good point that, at least as we know of, they're not getting anything from the Chinese. We said in the beginning, Turkish President Erdogan, he's a member of NATO. He's supposed to be a U.S. ally. With friends like these, who needs enemies?
Well, Turkey is an ally since 1952, but they're very, very difficult to deal with in certain cases. And I make no excuses for bad decisions that Turkey has made. At the same time, that geography is never going to change, and the alliance is much better if we have Turkey as an ally than not. And I would also say that we, the West, and we, the United States, have not made the best decisions with regards to Turkey either. I mean, giving weapons to the YPG, which is a terrorist organization, you know, that didn't go down very well with our Turkish allies. And so we've got some work to do. I think the Shaheen Romney legislation requiring us to develop a Black Sea strategy, that's a good step. We don't have a strategy for the region yet.
You're correct that we don't have a strategy in a lot of places right now in that sense, I guess. Hey, General, it was good to see you. Thank you.
Okay, Leland, thanks for the privilege.
Yeah, appreciate it.